It's Week 17 of the National Football League, where we'll see this team's burner at wide receiver. He's on the doorstep of another milestone in a great season, approaching 1,200 yards. We can hardly wait for the start of this one. And
we are pleased, as always, to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Memphis team as they get ready here. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game. So they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
On the other side of the field for our visitors here, it's late in the year. We all know it. We've seen the calendar for these guys. Their bodies could probably use a break, but they have to push on.
And they're really not as worried about that as...
Get strapped in. It's just about time to get the party started. And we are underway from Memphis. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And a look at the man under center, now in his 8th season in the National Football League.
Well, the silver lining from last week, he played phenomenally, kept the ball clean, and led them to the end zone several times. You know these NFL quarterbacks, though, they trade away all those touchdowns if it meant getting the win. That's his focus this week.
And his first look is incomplete. When you look at this defense, they've been very good this year against the pass, currently holding on to a top 10 ranking at number 10.
This secondary has really developed into one of the strengths of this team. They diagnose, they cover, they run, they hit. What a nice team.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Can't get away, and he's taken down. Looks like a 9-yard loss, and it also brings up 4th.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. And they'll send out their punter now. He'll kick it away after a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the game. Fielded at the 33. Call that a 44-yard punt, 5 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And led out by their veteran quarterback. He's been around a while. They don't celebrate birthdays for him. They just cut him up, see how many rings he's got around the middle. He has been in the league a long time.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the 1 interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets, and bottom line, how do they get a win?
Quick throw there is incomplete.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely, frees up your guys elsewhere. And that is incomplete. And the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up. And they bring their punter out there now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. A 40-yard punt, give him 3 on the return, and they will take over 1st and 10. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. Well, including this week, 3 weeks remain in the regular season, Charles, and it is going to be interesting to see how this playoff picture sorts itself out before we head into the postseason.
Competitive, entertaining postseason, that's what we're always striving for. But I think we get it during the regular season, too, because you never know how things are going to go during the final weeks of the season. Every team pulling out all the stops to get a better seed or just to get one of those 7 seats at the table.
Now a 3rd and 6. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. He'll look to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Every offense tells you they want to come out and start fast. That's not unusual at all. But this group, they've yet to get much rolling through their first 2 drives. It looks like they're going to have to give up the football again after this one.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Returnable here from the 38. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Back onto the field comes this offense, ready for their 2nd drive. And the stakes in this game certainly high as we get toward the end of the regular season. For now, they are holding a wild card spot, but there are no shortage of other teams in the NFC looking to take that spot from them.
Starting with the guys on the other side of the field because...
Oh, wide open, complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. And now it looks like we're going to get a timeout here. We've got a man shaken up. Well, always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside. Now a play fake here on 1st down. He finds his man, complete. That's Beck. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. And between the last 2 plays, they moved it over half the length of the football field.
But they've certainly not shied away from throwing the footballs. They've leaned on their quarterback to start this game. 4 straight passes right out of the gate, with that last one earning them a new set of downs.
Here we go now on 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there. His 8th rushing touchdown on the year. And his guys have taken a first-quarter lead. So the toss play effective, even down here near the goal line.
Yeah, and you're hoping the defense commits too many men to stop the run in the middle of the field and that your blockers can gain a little bit of an advantage. And when they do, foot race to the pylon, and this time, he had the speed to win that race.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Here's Memphis to once again go on offense. The partner just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season. The playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early, but if there's that special one there, I say they go get him.
They go play action here on 1st down. And he slings one that's incomplete. When you look at this defense, they've been very good this year against the pass, currently holding on to a top 10 ranking at number 10.
And since this is such a good unit at covering passes downfield, I think that last play is typical of what we might see. A lot of short passes, see if they can generate some run after the catch, but nothing doing on that one.
9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. On 3rd down, it's George, and he gets this one across midfield for the 1st down to the 46. Well, now hang on here because he appears to be shaken up, but not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment. Back to throw now on 1st down. Getting this into the hands of Eric Dickerson. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. It's a gain of 34.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. A little eager there coming in from his outside linebacker position.
You think the hard count got him there?
Yes.
Maybe that extra that extra emphasis on it got him to jump, and they picked up 5 yards.
Back to throw here. And he fires one incomplete.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. That's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the 1st quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So that kick gives them their first points of the game, CD, and it comes on the 3rd drive, but hopefully for them that's a spark that gets that offense going.
Yeah, and I would say if you're the offensive play caller, as you look at your sheet, you're trying to find that part on there that unlocks bigger points. They've struggled with a few drives so far. Finally got 3 out of it. How do you find the end zone? That's what he's searching for now.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And this late season game, of course, not lacking for drama when you talk about the AFC playoff picture.
Yeah, in a sense, it's the haves versus the have-nots, because this group on offense, they'd be a wild card if the postseason started today, but they know the guys on the other side of the ball are still in that dreaded in-the-hunt category, and they're hungry for a win today.
Off play action, Greene. And that is incomplete, nearly intercepted. The free safety couldn't quite get his hands around it, and it brings up 3rd down. Back to throw. Greene. That is caught, and they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. A busy 1st quarter. His 3rd catch of the afternoon is a 1st down. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
Able to break through that initial contact and winds up getting about 3 there. It's 2nd down. Off the play fake. Greene. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the 1st. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Again, he'll drop to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Sutton. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. Now a handoff up the middle. Swain. And here he'll get it down to the 7. And now we're going to get a stoppage as, yeah, that looks like Jackson who's shaken up. Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside. 2nd and 5. Touchdown! A great play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And his guys are going to add on to their lead.
We're still in the first quarter, but it's apparent they're going to have to come up with a different defensive game plan for him because right now he's kind of having his way against that defense and has added a touchdown to the list. How do you slow him down? They're going to have to mix up some coverages, maybe change who's guarding him.
Extra point right down the middle, and that pushes the lead up to 11. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Here's Memphis to once again go on offense. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. And at least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 15 carries, 89 yards.
I can't remember the last time we did a game and a coach didn't talk about establishing the run first. But they've lost 2 straight games, so they still want to do that, but they've got to have some contingencies, some other options. Expect them maybe to throw it a little bit to open up things and maybe run it a little bit more later in the game.
He'll drop to throw. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed in this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Going down the middle, and it's complete. Well, they'll get 15, but that won't be nearly enough. It's 4th down. That catch, by the way, number 542 in his NFL career, that draws him level with Lance Allworth, who was a Hall of Famer with the Chargers back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, the man they called Bambi. So if you're in that type of territory, catch the same number of passes he caught, you know you're on your way to a big-time career. And just think, he's not through yet.
Great blocking, nearly sprung him there. 28-yard return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. The visitors' offense and their wideout getting set to go once more. And what a start he's off to. You don't want to start prorating numbers out for 4 quarters, but it's fair to say this defense is going to have to find some way to slow him down. Greene throwing to start the drive. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
Pressure comes, and down he goes. Call it a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up 3rd down.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
Ready for the 2nd quarter, and it's our visitors with the football. And this offense on 3rd down today, they've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 15. He's got his target. That's complete. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15.
Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big fellas up front.
On 1st down, Swain. And he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. They'll keep it on the ground. Swain. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. A great effort there. His 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game. As his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further.
You get in a 2nd and long situation down here in the red zone, I'd say most defensive coaches would think pass, let's bring some pressure. So this is kind of a tendency breaker here to hit him with something on the ground, and he'll take it all the way into the end zone.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead is up to 18 now. 5 plays there on that drive. And it was finished off by the 14-yard touchdown run. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Here's Memphis to once again go on offense. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3. I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. And they'll send the tight end in motion. 2nd and 4. And a quick throw here, that's complete. A 6-yard pass on back-to-back plays. Picks up the 1st. They'll drop to throw. That's into the hands of Edwards. 2 yards on the pickup there, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. Back to throw again. And he rifles one incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. In trouble, and he's taken down. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
And on now is the punter as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Pulled in at the 24. It'll be a 41-yard punt. Give them 5 on the return. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. Well, everything right now that they touch on this side of the football, it seems to turn to gold. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. That lead continues to grow. And, I mean, if they can get points here, Charles, might almost be an insurmountable comeback for the other side.
I think you make a great case for that, so I'm going to flip it over to the other side. Could they make the big comeback? Certainly. Am I expecting it? Not at all. I think if we don't see a drastic change in how they're playing, this blowout's going to get bigger and bigger before the final gun.
And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. Off play action. Greene. He's got his running back out of the backfield. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. The pickup there, 5 yards.
I'm not sure that was necessarily a safety valve or a check down throw on 3rd down. Sometimes just try and find the open guy and get him the ball. He did exactly that and found a way to pick up a 1st down.
And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 23 yards on the play.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Looking to throw. Greene. And that'll be incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. They'll look to throw again. Wide open receiver complete. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Everything's going right here in this first half, and they've got a good lead, and part of that can be attributed to their success on 3rd downs. This is another conversion here, and they can look to really open things up now with this 1st and goal.
Back to throw. Greene. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
Here's 2nd and 8. And it's caught. Touchdown. From 8 yards out. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. Well executed there offensively. Defense looked a little confused, but he found his receiver, and that one good for 6 points.
And the payoff we just saw there tells us how many times they ran this play in practice over the past few weeks, because they executed that flawlessly right here on game day when the situation arose.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the route is on here in this first half. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. A lane opens here. He's past the 30. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
So 5 yards there as one of the big guys up front moved.
And in a 4-3 front, you've got the 2 defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
Now a give right side. It's George. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
Sometimes those lines that are drawn on a grease board or in a playbook, they come to life out on the field, don't they? And we just saw down that outside handoff to the right.
That right tackle, he gets excited for that call, doesn't he?
He does, because he just wants to dominate his guy and say, listen, I was the point of attack. I took care of business. That's why you're able to get downfield and add all those yards to your total.
Yeah, really nice gain there. On first down, he'll drop to throw. Slant pass hauled in by Campbell. And they'll get him down inside the red zone at the 14. It's also a gain of 14. First down.
Well, it certainly doesn't matter if it's been through the air like on this play or on the ground. I don't know what's going on with this defense. In a sense, they've been AWOL on this drive so far. 3 plays, 3 first downs given up. They've got to find answers, and they've got to find them quick.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Up the middle they go. Bailey. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. This offense so far on 3rd down, they've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 4. They're going to look to throw. And this will be broken up and incomplete. Now a penalty flag down, and they may be going backward here. So they decline the hold, and that's going to lead to a 4th down. And his kick is right there. It's good, and they're back within 3 scores as it's now a 22-point game. So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps them inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
And able to break this out all the way to the 38-yard line. Great return. The visitors' offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he's done everything you could have asked for coming in. He's spread it around. He hasn't taken many chances. And he's potentially on his way to a big game throwing the football. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. A completion, yes, but certainly not what they wanted. A loss of a full 6 yards. Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up. Looking to throw. Greene. He completes this to Sutton. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play. And it'll be 4th down.
No surprise they decided to throw on 3rd down. A little bit of a surprise that they completed the pass and lost yardage on the play.
Now here's a whistle and a timeout. It's called by the receiving team here. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. So they bring out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Seven yards on the return after a punt of 39. Here's Memphis to once again go on offense. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize, like going to the county fair. You don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. So the completion good for just 3. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Normally on third down and short yardage, you're thinking to throw to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the first down and then some.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Got his tight end. That's complete. It's Sharp. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. So not quite a 1st and goal just yet as they come up now 2nd and inches. They'll look to throw. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down. Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
They have pressure coming, and they got him once again. They bring a man off the corner that time, and he gets home for a loss of 6.
I'm starting to wonder if this offensive line just simply doesn't like him. I mean, they've given up 6 sacks in this game. He's had nowhere to go, nowhere to run, and obviously nowhere to hide.
And all those sacks in the first half, this is just complete domination. And his kick is good. And the deficit falls under 20 now. It's a 19-point game. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
Well, now how about this return? So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And he takes this near the 25, just a little pass there, call it the 26. The visitors' offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner,
and they went into the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. They'll send the tight end in motion left. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. He's going to air one out. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And it's fielded at the 34. 35 yards that time on the punt. Here's Memphis to once again go on offense. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. In motion, the tight end. 2nd and 1. To the sideline and incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's got enough for the first across midfield to the 48. At 5 yards on the play there, as the drive will continue. They'll run on 1st down. It's Bailey. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Bailey. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. A 3rd down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points.
False start, offense.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long. Now back to throw. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the 3rd quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And this will pin them back deep. That's going to kick out of bounds right at about the 7-yard line. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
Now 2nd and 9. Back to throw. Greene. Over the middle, it's complete. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to him. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a 1st down. So another on-target throw, and that last one, Charles, going to put him up over 5,000 yards passing out for the season, and that is not an insignificant number.
Indeed it is not, because this is not a big list, and most of the guys on it, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Dan Marino, they either are or will be Hall of Famers.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Now a handoff up the middle. Swain, and he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a 1st down.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Overall, I'd have to say that was just really good team defense, because to me, you can't pin that one on the running back. He had no shot there. He had a man in his face immediately.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Looking to throw. Greene. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Operating from the gun. Greene. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. He couldn't get away there on 3rd down. The pressure too much, and he's sacked for a loss of 12.
Like how they've started the 3rd quarter here. They force a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their 2nd win coming out of the locker room. And they'll send out their punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and out will come the offense as they take over.
Here's Memphis to once again go on offense. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Ball right on the 50-yard line. Here's 2nd down and 7.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's 3rd down. Back to throw.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
There he goes, right side. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Well, whatever adjustments they're trying to make over on that sideline, Charles, this defense, they just seem to be a step in front of them and not giving them a chance to implement any of those changes. And here, a pick 6, and they widen the lead.
At least a step ahead, maybe even 2 steps. And right now, they are thinking hard about putting this opponent away. That turnover, it grew their lead and just totally deflated that offense. Now these next couple of series, you can take them out of the game entirely if you continue on this pace.
Extra point right down the middle, and that will bump the lead up to 26. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away.
And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. Here's Memphis to once again go on offense. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
And sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick 6 and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
Now look, you're not going to be able to get this all back at once, but that certainly helps.
So you're saying 3 yards in a cloud of dust, not the strategy?
I go aerial attack.
Yeah, I think that's what has to happen. And if you're going to run it, you need to break off big chunks. We just saw a big play right there. They need plenty of those.
Back to throw now on 1st down.
Back to the same target, Campbell.
He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
Here's 2nd and 10.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. And he's going to go down, sacked right around the 17. Call it a loss of 4 there on the sack, and speaking of the number 4, it brings up 4th down now. So out comes the field goal team once more. This will be a 34-yard attempt. And his kick here is good. And that'll put us within 3 scores as it becomes now a 23-point game. Another 3 on the board. He's been the lone bright spot. That's now 4 field goals.
If this offense had finished a few drives, we'd be looking at a different complexion to this ball game, because right now, the trade is really wrong for them, isn't it? They're trading field goals while the other team's scoring touchdowns. That's not going to work.
So now out comes this offense led by their quarterback as they take over once more. And he had it going in the first half, that's for sure. He's really had his way with his secondary. They've been powerless to stop him, and he'll look to keep it rolling right here.
They'll start this drive out on the ground.
And he'll get this to the 32.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
It'll be a loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first.
From the gun on 3rd down, Greene. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the first down. And they bring their punter out there now as he's on for the 5th time here today. Taken in at the 22. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Memphis, Tennessee. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive.
And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter. Oh, what a read on the outside as it's intercepted. He may go.
And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Well, this one was already ugly, and now it's just kind of becoming a feast on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, partner, this is a unit that knows they've got this game in the bag with this huge lead. And it's going to drive their coaches crazy because they're telling them play it straight, do all the right things. But these guys are going to be freewheeling now. All of them are going to take chances, and that one pays off with an INT and a return for 6.
Now the extra point. And the lead is now an even 30. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The home team's offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets, and it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive.
And you can sort of sense their dejection. That last pick 6 put the icing on the cake, so to speak, in what has been a rough go for them.
Got his man complete over the middle. It's Campbell. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down. He'll look to throw. And he's got his big wide receiver complete. Just a gain of a couple there. And that'll make it 2nd down. They'll send a receiver here in motion right. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first? Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
Over the middle, complete. That's sharp. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot. Up the middle they go. Bailey. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Well, you know they had a third down play on standby just in case, but he says no need with that carry. Runs like that will continually earn him more work in this and future contests.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1.
Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. But not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment.
They'll try to run this one in. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown.
His second rushing touchdown of the year and third overall.
And his guys are able to close that gap just a bit.
Did my eyes deceive me, or was that an I formation play that was just run there for a touchdown?
Little old school eye.
How about that? Was that a fullback, tailback, running it into the end zone?
Well, that's what that fullback's for, right? That's why you use that. Let him pave the way.
Oh, without a doubt. He's an extra blocker, and he did his job well on that play.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. This offense headed back out, captained, of course, by their quarterback. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been that successful. He just processes things so quickly and makes a right read seemingly every time.
They'll start on the ground here on first down. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line.
42 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot. Here now, 2nd and 4.
They'll keep it on the ground. Swain. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Now a handoff up the middle. Swain.
And a pretty good burst there as he'll get this across midfield and down to the 46.
And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
From the gun, they'll try to run it. Oh, and that one well designed as he'll take this down to the 30-yard line.
17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Up the middle they go. Swain. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
So from the 25, this is 2nd and 5.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And he will find his man on the outside. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
Back to throw. Greene. And it's caught. And he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. An 18-yard touchdown grab. And this offense is running away with this one.
So still throwing here in the 4th quarter with a pretty sizable lead, and now that lead even more sizable. And if nothing else here, CD, a chance to pile on some stats before this one wraps up, and he did just that.
Brandon, convention tells us it's time for them to get off the gas a little bit, right? But you and I both know the receivers don't want them to because, as you noted, this is their chance to pile on the stats. If they got their way, they try to get every single spot in the depth chart points before this game is over.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. Here's Memphis to once again go on offense. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, The second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and then try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down. Now a handoff up the middle. It's Bailey. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
From just shy of midfield, here's a 2nd and 7.
And they'll send the slot in motion left. Here's a 2nd and 7. Getting this into the hands of Eric Dickerson. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. 11 yards there. First down. Back to throw here.
He's got room at the 30.
And he'll be taken down at the 26. This duo locked in. 14 yards there and a first down.
And with this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a first down.
Well, we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants this lead to stay right where it is.
They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. They'll look to throw here on first down.
And that one too wide and incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
Again, he'll drop to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Boy, that was certainly well-read defensively, and the key to any screenplay is space to work, and there was none to be found there, and they tackle him for just a short gain.
They're throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete. Following the play here, now we've got an injury. Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Got to try it here. He's back to throw.
Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10.
So this drive going to continue following the conversion on 4th. Here's 1st and 10.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down. Back to throw again. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete. A field goal does you no good, so they're going to stay out there and go for it on 4th. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and this long drive is going to wind up yielding nothing. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
2nd and 7.
They'll keep it on the ground. Swain. And he's only able to work this from the 8 to the 10 for a pickup of 2.
3rd and 5.
Looking to throw. Greene. Now they go screen. It's complete. And they'll get him down right around the 11-yard line. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And taken at the 46.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance. Well, by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for our visitors,
They get the critical victory to move them to 9-7 now.
so that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. So long, everybody.